The changes of tax rate in budget 2023 are that the micro, small, medium enterprises (MSME) tax rate would be decreased from 70% to 50% on the first 150,000 ringgit of taxable income. This reduced tax rate is projected to save 150,000 MSME taxpayers up to 3,000 ringgit. Tax relief for individual in budget 2023 including medical treatment expenditures, which will be raised from 8,000 ringgit to 10,000 ringgit. Up to 8,000 ringgit is the amount given on medical treatment expenses such as serious illness, fertility treatment, vaccination, and full medical checkup. Moreover, it is limited to 4,000 ringgit for including the intervention expenditure for autism, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder (ADHD), global developmental delay (GDD), intellectual disability, Down syndrome, and specific learning disabilities. Furthermore, life insurance premiums or takaful contributions also comprise in tax relief for individual. The tax relief is up to 4,000 ringgit for mandatory contribution to approved schemes or voluntary contribution to EPF, which is not including private retirement scheme or contribution under any retail law. On the other hand, tax relief is up to 3,000 ringgit for life insurance premium or takaful contribution or additional voluntary contribution to EPF or both. In addition, tax relief can be claimed up to 7,000 ringgit for civil servants under the pension scheme not voluntarily contributing to EPF.
The other tax reliefs for individual is to enroll children to TASCA or TADIKA. The tax relief for sending children to TASCA or TADIKA, which age up to 6-year-old, has been increased to 3,000 ringgit. It can be claimed by either parent of the child. It extended for a year of assessment 2024. Other than that, the extension of tax relief for the National Education Savings Schemes, also known as SSPM. Budget 2023 grants income tax relief of up to 8,000 ringgit till the year assessment of 2024 for net annual savings in SSPN. 20% of the remaining paternity and loan debt if paid in full between November 1, 2022 and April 30, 2023. Last but not least is the expansion of tax relief for COVID-19 detection test scope. The purchase of a self-detection test kit accompanied by a receipt now compromising. Fees for tests performed in a laboratory accredited by the Malaysian Ministry of Health.
Investment incentives will be restructured toward tiered tax rates based on the achievement of certain outcomes in line with the new Industrial Master Plan 2030 to be announced in the third quarter of 2023. These outcomes will place emphasis on high-quality activities and the recruitment of local talent as well as embedding local firms in supply chains and creating new industrial clusters. To further drive productivity and improve efficiency through automation, the accelerated capital allowance for automation equipment will be enhanced as follows with respect to applications received by the Malaysian Investment Development Authority (MIDA) and the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security (MEFS) from 1st January 2023 until 31st December 2027, which are the scope of the tax incentive will be expanded to include the agricultural sector. The scope of automation would include the adaptation of Industry 4.0 elements and also the capital expenditure threshold. For claiming the allowance would be aligned for different sectors and increased to 10 million ringgit Malaysia. The second one is the tax incentives for the shipbuilding and ship repairing industry, which will be extended for 5 years between 1 January 2023 to 31st December 2027. So for the new companies, the tax exemption of up to 70% of statutory income for 5 years, or an investment tax allowance of up to 60% on qualifying expenditure incurred within 5 years and set off against 70% of statutory income for each year of assessment. While for the existing companies, an investment tax allowance of up to 60% of qualifying capital expenditure within 5 years and set off against 70% of statutory income for each year of assessment. So for the first one, tax incentives for new and existing aerospace companies in Malaysia that undertake high-value activities would be extended for 3 years, which is from 1st January 2023 to 31st December 2025. So for the new companies, the income tax exemption of between 70 to 100% for between 5 to 10 years, or an investment tax allowance of between 60 to 100% for 5 years. This can be set off against 70 to 100% of statutory income for each assessment year. While for the existing companies, an investment tax allowance of up to 60% for 5 years set off against 70% of statutory income for each assessment year.
Moving on to the next incentive is the incentive for the manufacturer of electric vehicle or EV charging equipment. So Budget 2023 has encouraged the adoption of EV with various incentives, which among them the proposed extension of EV tax exemption. The incentive proposed are 100% tax exemption on statutory income from the year assessment 2023 to 2032 be given to companies that make early investment to be eligible for up to 10 years tax exemption. Companies that invest after the year assessment 2023, they are only eligible to benefit from the incentive for the remaining exemption period, or companies may choose for investment tax allowance of 100% for a period of 5 years and set off against 100% of the statutory income for each year assessment. With regards to the proposed tax incentive for companies renting non-commercial EV between 2023 and 2025, the study believed this could help boost EV demand and adoption in Malaysia. For companies running an EV rental business, they can better understand consumer needs and tastes in EV. Meanwhile, for companies renting EV, they can now benefit from the tax incentive and from reduced Scope 1 emission, which should also boost their ESG profile. Next, this incentive focuses on for the chicken rearers to encourage them to adopt environmental friendly closed house system as well as to increase productivity. It is proposed tax incentive be given as follows: accelerated capital allowance 100% on the qualifying capital expenditure, and income tax exemption of 100% equivalent to the qualifying capital expenditure. This tax incentive are given on the qualifying capital expenditures incurred from year of assessment 2023 until year of assessment 2025. So qualifying capital expenditure that can be claimed amounting to 200% within a year. This incentive will also be given from year assessment 2023 to year assessment 2025. The last incentive announced is the incentive relating to the carbon capture and storage in Malaysia. The government plans to reach its low carbon nation aspiration by 2040, which is part of its National Energy Policy 2022 until 2040. So to reach this goal, the government has devised a plan to control CO2 emissions using carbon capture and storage technology, or CCS. Under the latest budget, companies undertaking CCS in-house activity will be eligible for an investment tax allowance of 100% for 10 years to set off against 100% of statutory income, as well as full import duty and sales tax exemption on equipment for CCS technology from 1 January 2023 until 31 December 2027. There will also be tax deduction for allowable pre-commencement expenses within 5 years prior to the date of commencement of operation. Companies undertaking CCS services will be eligible for 100% investment tax allowance for 10 years to set off against 100% statutory income, or 70% income tax exemption statutory income for 10 years, as well as full import duty and sales tax exemption on equipment for CCS technology from 1 January 2023 until 31 December 2027. There will also be tax deduction on fees incurred for use of CCS services for 2023 to 2027. Malaysia is also progressing plans for a carbon tax, which is seen as crucial to incentivize the CCS business. Moreover, Malaysia and Indonesia were the first countries in Southeast Asia to announce that CCS would play a role in decarbonizing their industrial sector. So that's all from us. Thank you.